Okay, welcome everyone. Today's meeting is on connecting to employment. So Square Peg Society exists to support and engage with autistic adults and their families. Therefore, our monthly meetings are always on topics that impact adults. Employment is fundamental to purposeful adult living, to achieving independence, and to contributing to one's community. However, many autistic individuals continue to be underemployed, and for them, the path to successful employment is not without challenge and lots of effort. Here today, we have representation from 4 organizations actively working to improve the uptake and retention in employment, present and future, for people who have experienced barriers to employment. So the first organization is Intersections Media Opportunities for Youth Society. It is a nonprofit charitable organization created to continue the legacy of William Vince, an Oscar-nominated Vancouver filmmaker and advocate for youth. Given the increased opportunities in the film industry, Intersections Media focuses on skills training and work experiences for participants to achieve long-term attachment to work, primarily in the film industry. They offer a full-time 6-week online employability and life skills workshop for youth or young adults with multiple barriers to employment. Katarina Thorsen, the program director, is here to give us the details of this program. So welcome, Kat.
Thank you so much, Joette, and welcome everyone. It's a delight to have been invited to this wonderful meeting. It has a huge heart piece for me, for sure, as a parent of someone who is neurodiverse, and then also as a program director of an organization that works with young people ages 19 to 30. So I usually go very informal with my presentations, but today I'm going to try something new. So kind of illustrates, as we try something new, we can be a little bit anxious, and then see how digital media kind of helps us share our visions and creative. So I'm going to share first a video that the key instructor of the program created, and the main instructor of our film program is actually my brother, Fred. And so I'll play that first. Now, depending on your Wi-Fi, the video may not play well. However, I'm going to be sending Joette the recording so that everyone can look at it on YouTube afterwards if they so wish. So I'm going to give it a try now, and I'm going to ask Joe, I have a right to share the screen? Yes, I do. Okay, and so this is going to be my presentation. I'm just going to go to the YouTube site, do the big screen. And can everybody see the big screen now? It's shared. Okay, and I will play it.
We are Intersections Media Opportunities for Youth Society. At first glance, we may appear to be a film school, teaching the essentials of filmmaking, but we're much more than that. Our program is unique and innovative and has left a lasting impact on well over 1,000 participants who have gone through our program. Intersections was established in honor of the late Bill Vince, a Canadian film producer who believed in empowering at-risk youth in Vancouver's downtown east side. Bill touched thousands of lives with his positive energy, generous nature, and commitment to charitable works. In 2008, Bill lost a battle with cancer at the age of 44. Intersections Media honors his legacy by fulfilling his vision of providing young, barriered adults with the technical expertise, confidence, and resources to pursue their dreams of working in film and other creative industries. Our unique approach fosters a deep understanding of the overall filmmaking process, so that when they get their first jobs, they know what everyone is doing and why.
The audio went out.
We have been told that our participants learn more from us in 6 weeks than they do in traditional film schools. So how do we do it? First, we equip our participants with cutting-edge tools, fostering engagement and boosting their confidence. Full-time access to the equipment and a deep personal connection through our unique interactive learning model cultivates community and maximizes the time spent on creating and delivering projects. Icebreakers like drawing and mind mapping provide valuable self-reliance techniques. For some, this is the first time they've seen themselves as creative. As a result, their dreams start to seem achievable. From there, we dive into the world of filmmaking, offering a comprehensive understanding of its fundamentals. We demystify technology and software, providing essential skills for the journey ahead. We cover the history of filmmaking so that they understand core concepts like 24 frames per second and why that's now a feature on their phones. We delve into storytelling and how stories have the power to heal and unite. They learn professional screenwriting so that they can see their own stories come to life in industry standard formats. We cover the process of breaking down and scheduling scripts so that they understand the logistical and financial aspects of filmmaking and the unique needs of the many departments on a film set. We introduce them to the power of editing, now widely considered an essential communication skill in any field. We look at lighting and use state-of-the-art digital lighting tools to virtually practice using real-world equipment, all from the comfort of their workstations. We explore photography and what makes a moving image cinematic, so that they understand the powerful income potential of providing filmmaking services to their community. They learn the joy of seeing the world in a whole new way. With newfound confidence and technical skills, they dive into their main project, an animation in which they create a message to a younger version of themselves. Why animation? Steven Spielberg himself can explain.
I think all directors should be animators first, because you really can take the imagination and become something tangible.
Finally, we guide them through post-production, teaching finishing touches, color correction, and sharing their creations.
We love Spielberg.
But
We
it's more
can't get
than
enough.
skills. We instill independence, self-sufficiency, and reliability, skills which are critical to success in any industry. Armed with essential certificates and a newfound pathway to a career, our graduates are not just ready for the workforce, they're eager, confident, and primed for success, just as Bill envisioned.
So that is an overview of our program. It's quite formal. It was created for
I know.
for
LinkedIn.
the what is called Service Canada, our funder, and it was a way for us to really give an overview of the program. For those that want to watch it later, you can put on closed captioning so that you can get it and read what my brother was saying. So basically, Intersections Media is a paid to train employment program, which is really exciting so that our participants can actually make an income for the 6 weeks that they are training with us. Because even if it was a free program, it would be hard to take 6 weeks and focus. And so I'm the program director, and I'll go through some slides and kind of go slowly to explain what the program kind of looks like. So who am I? So my full name is Katarina Thorsen, but I go by Kat when I'm working. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I am a parent, and my youngest, who is now 36, which is fantastic, is neurodiverse. And so I have a lot of experience with navigating the system and certainly trying to find the employment services, employment things that really suit my youngest. So I'm well versed in this individually. However, now I am also a visual artist. So I really believe that creativity and art can help us build connections. And that's certainly the core of our program, is we have a diverse population of young people, ages 19 to 30, but it's the creativity that connects us all on a deeper level and really builds a network. I've worked in a variety of places, custody centers, community programs, care facilities, alternative schools, restorative justice organizations. It's, you name it, always using creativity to engage. And I do still work within a variety of school districts, including the Coquitlam School District, to help the schools build their mission and vision. My bread and butter work, as I call it, is intersections media. That's how I make my living. But I do create books, and my current project is a graphic novel, which is very exciting. And I'm very excited to share that I have a contract with a publisher. So personally, my brother and I, my brother's a filmmaker, we practice what we preach, meaning we know creativity helps us build skills, helps us connect to the world, but we are also artists ourselves. So I'm going to share a bit of what the program looks like. So what are the eligibility parameters? Because we are funded by the government, we do have a strict kind of box that we have to fit everyone in order for folks to be eligible for our program and to be able to be paid. There's an application process that all goes through me. So it's a very friendly, easy application process. And then I'll share a bit of what the curriculum overview looks like, what our employment readiness portion looks like, what are our deliverables, like what do we ask our participants to try to complete during our program? And then what are some of the expectations and perhaps stepping stones if our program isn't right for you at this time in your life? So our eligibility parameters, meaning
I know. You're on yours.
how are you, able to take our program and get paid, is our age group is ages 19 to 30. That's a strict age parameter. We are funded by Service Canada and the province of British Columbia, and usually those programs, employment programs, are ages 15 to 30. However, because we are a creative program where folks are creating creative projects from screenplays to films, we want to ensure that people have creative freedom. And so we felt that the difference between ages 15 to 30 may make people a little bit uncomfortable in fully sharing their creative projects. So we are strictly ages 19 to 30. So you will have had to turn 19, and then you age out from our eligibility once if you turn 31 within the 6 months after our start date. But that's all things that I can explain if you ever want to contact me, and I'm happy to hop on Zoom. You do have to be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. There are folks that have applied with just work visas, and unfortunately at this time we can't take those applicants. You have to be a BC resident and live in the Lower Mainland. Have good access to Wi-Fi because our program is delivered just like this. It's on Zoom and it's very interactive. It is not in person. You do have to be either unemployed, underemployed. A lot of our young people have part-time employment in the weekend, on the weekends or evenings, just to be able to pay their bills. I'll explain how much folks are paid during our program. One of our very unfortunate parameters for me is that you cannot be on disability, government disability during our program. And that is because we're under the same funding umbrella. And so I do encourage, I have other ideas for folks that are on disability because it is a difficult thing to go off of to take our program and then try to get back on. But there's always discussions. I have a big, vast community of support networks that we can look at. What are other ways for you to pursue a creative career? Our program is very fast-paced. So we are trying to illustrate what a real film world experience is like, because the film world is quick. Things change very quickly. It really suits creative people. There are very many different roles, from being on set, which is the most ironically chaotic portion of the film world. But then there are other fantastic employment opportunities that are more 9 to 5 and predictable. And those are things like being a studio runner at an animation studio or Industrial Light and Magic. And those positions are where you go and help set up meeting rooms. It is, maybe make photocopies, maybe make coffee. And then as you get interested in that company, they will help you build your career within it. So there are very many different roles within the film industry. That makes it exciting for our diverse population. And then we do provide all the materials. So a courier actually, once you have applied, once you meet all the eligibility, once we process you through our funders and say that, okay, you are fully free to take our program now, a courier delivers a loaner MacBook and a secondary monitor. So you do have all the equipment necessary. That MacBook is loaded up with all the software that folks need to do the program. And then our model is quite fluid, meaning there are certain days where you are working on your own projects. There are certain days where we're quite deep in Zoom learning editing. So folks do have to be able to kind of navigate unpredictable schedules. However, our hours are between the hours of 9 to 5. And so the application process is just through me. So Joette will share after that, send out contact info about me, and I welcome anyone to contact me at any time through email, and we can set up a time to talk. And if you're really interested, once we've had a chance to chat, I send a secure application form through DocuSign, which is an app that's very secure. And then it allows you to sign off and answer these questions. It's kind of like your background, your interest in the program, any challenges, things like that. So it's kind of a get to know. And then we have a more in-depth interview. And then once we feel, okay, this really would suit you, then you have to ensure if some of you may have already taken a paid to train program before. There are quite a few out there, and those can include, culinary, and resume building, those kind of things. That doesn't make you ineligible for a program. However, we just talk about that you have to confirm that you are fully exited from that program, from their database. And then we have to ensure that that your ID is current, that your social insurance number matches your legal name, matches your birth date, those kind of things. All very easy, typical paperwork for an employment skills program. So you'll need proof of social insurance number, legal name, proof of residency, BC health care that you're connected to that, although that many people have that on their BC ID, and then direct deposit information because you'll be paid to take our program, which is delightful. And then there's an employment contract. So we don't call our participants students, even though we are training, and even though my brother and I are instructors, we call our participants our employees, which is really great. So it becomes a film gig already. And then our curriculum is 6 weeks, 40 hours per week, and you are paid minimum wage for those. And because it's a youth allowance, there's no tax taken off. So you actually do get the 40 hours a week minimum wage. And as I said, we're a virtual platform using those program materials. Weeks 1 to 4 is mainly with my brother Fred, who is a fabulous instructor and also a filmmaker and editor. And so the projects that we cover are things like screenwriting, editing, photography, animation, drawing, and mind mapping. I come on and teach drawing and how to organize projects. It's all an introduction to all these things. However, some of our participants have previous experience. Some have none, and they're just coming in to really take a look at the film industry. However, all our participants are very creative and really eager to explore a creative career. It doesn't have to end up being in film, but just to share that you actually can make a living being creative, which is a delightful thing to think about. Weeks 5 to 6 are different because weeks 1 to 4 are fun and creative and juicy, and all sorts of things happen with Fred and I. Weeks 5 to 6, we fold you over to our other staff, and that's where it's really about completing all the certificates that you have to do during our program. And then amazingly, every day in the afternoon, there's someone from the BC film industry talking. And those guests include Industrial Light and Magic, Vancouver Post, who covers editors. There's Warner Media. Creative BC, all these folks who are the people that oversee the film industry and who are very eager, I would say almost desperate, to connect with young people like yourselves to get folks into the industry for really building a diversity within the film industry. So we're becoming a bit of a bridge for the Vancouver film industry. The certificates that our program covers are various certificates that are needed for the union. So once you have completed our program, you will have really a really rich, robust resume that is a union recognized, which is really cool. So if you are someone who really wants to work on set, for example, you have to build those hours to get into the union, but you also have to have certain certifications. So now that we're online, we've been able to build our program to be more film ready, whereas before, when we were in person, it was much more about food safe, serving it right, those kind of entry-level positions with employment. Now we are all about film. However, you can always ask us if you want to do other certifications afterward, because once you take our program, you are part of our network and we want to support people going forward. So the deliverables is basically attend fully, stay in communication, because everyone in the program has a variety of barriers or challenges that can include significant mental health, neurodiversity, all sorts of things. And so as long as you stay in communication, that's key. So because there's certain days where folks just can't attend. And so we record all our lectures. But all this is to practice being in the film industry. And the biggest thing for being in the film industry, no matter what position you have, is to be reliable and communicate at all times. And then we'd like folks to complete the certifications. Most of them are online. I mean, they're all online, but they're all sort of self-directed, a lot of them. And then there are some that are facilitated. And then we encourage people to complete those projects, those creative projects like animation, screenplay, and found film. And then you build a creative pathway. So we don't guarantee a job at the end of our program. However, you are going to receive a tool where you build your pathway. Say that you get really interested in becoming an editor. Then we give you this tool where you can look at what are all the stepping stones to get there, and then see what other training opportunities are out there to build your career. And then we plump up your resume. And then after our program, we stay in touch to see where you're at. And then we collect data to see if folks are employed, where they're at, did they go to school, all those kind of things. And then what's wonderful is we have a fantastic relationship with a lot of other programs in the community. One of our main collaborators is the Frames Film Program that is out of the Drive Youth Employment Center at 5th and Commercial. They are a once-a-week program that are really wonderful for anyone interested. Between the ages of 15 and 30, I believe it's a free program once a week where you work in a group and you create a film together. Frames often sends folks to us, or vice versa, we send folks to them, or some participants take it at the same time. So I will send this information out to Joette as well, because on March 27th, they are doing their graduation screening, and they are an incredibly inclusive and diverse and fantastic group. So I encourage you to go to the screening and meet with the program directors there, because we have found that Frames is a fantastic stepping stone for our young people, especially those on the autism spectrum. So that is the end of my presentation. So I will hand it over to Joette.
Thanks so much for such a comprehensive view of what you do. It sounds exciting. Thank you also for being open about the requirement that they not be on PWD. In our community, we're a mix. Some people are and some people aren't. And some people work really well online and some people do not. And so we're hoping that over the course of this morning, we'll see a range of opportunities. And thank you for also being willing to talk to those people who are interested in creative work that may not be quite a fit for you right now. I appreciate that reaching out. Are there any, Aaron, do you see any questions in the chat or elsewhere that you might like to direct to Kat?
No, so far I don't see any questions. So I think Henry has one.
Oh, hello. Okay. So I have a few questions if you don't mind, Kat.
Oh, yes, please.
So yeah, so the first question is that you said about like can't be on disability according to provincial or federal government because of funding parameters. Nor can you be on employment disability. So does that mean if for us, like if I'm on like a high spectrum, does that mean I can't join in the intersections media because I have a disability from
Oh,
that?
yes, great question. No, we definitely we do not say no to folks who have a disability.
Oh,
It is when you are paid by the government. It's that some people who are on disability get a government funding. And so that's that. So it's kind of the same funding pot. So it's all about
oh,
money coming. It's all about government money. However, no, we definitely will talk to anyone who identifies as having a disability and make sure that our program is the right fit, or I'm happy to research what other programs may be a good fit. Great question.
okay. Yeah, all right. That kind of crossed off the
Yeah,
concern.
exactly. It's a bit stressful, right? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are a few questions. So I know
Henry,
you
I'm just going to caution you that we are really tight on time, so confine it to this last question and then
okay.
contact Kat directly. I can
Oh yeah,
testify
sure.
though, Henry's a creative guy.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, and so Henry, please do reach out to me after, and I'm happy to set up a private Zoom call with you so we can really go deep into your questions.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you for that.
Fantastic. Lovely to meet you.
Yes, lovely to meet you too, Kat.
Diego?
You know what? I just realized I can definitely email Katerina my question. I have the email there, and just want to quickly say thank you so much for the work you and your brother do. I do believe David had a question. He was raising his hand, so I'll give him my time. Thank you.
Great. I look forward to connecting with you, Diego.
Esther in the chat would like to know if there's a part-time program that's similar to this.
So what I can do is share it's the Frames film program that's the most like ours. We do not have, I don't think there's any other film program in Vancouver that is similar in terms of being paid or part-time. Frames is 1 night a week, 3 hours. It's a free program and you do create it. It is sort of the perfect comparison. So again, I'm happy to send out lots of information. I will send that to Joette and Joette can then forward to everyone and then that'll have my contact info.
That sounds great. So David, please go ahead and then we'll move on.
Yeah, this will be very quick. Does disability tax credit count as government funding?
Unfortunately,
I don't think so.
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't, of course, but disability tax credit. Yes. No, that doesn't. So that is not an issue at all. I think it's when you get a monthly income.
That's right. David, that's a really common situation that many people find themselves in, where they have the ability, they've been diagnosed, they have the ability to claim a disability tax credit, but they do not receive PWD or community living funding. So yours is, if that's your case, it's a typical situation, and no, it does not remove your eligibility for a program like this.
Fantastic question, David. Thank you so much.
Patrick, last one, and then we have to go on.
Yeah, just wondering, it sounds like you can't get into this program if you're over 30. I probably, that's why I joined this, because I assumed there was some kind of opportunity for employment. It sounds like I shouldn't have joined.
That is for our particular program currently. However, I'm always happy to meet with you because there are lots of other options. And so I could really take you through some really great opportunities for you for those that are above age 30 within the film industry. So I do encourage you to reach out to me and then we can chat about that.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
So, from an online program to an in-person program, Coast Mental Health Culinary Skills Training Program gives young adults between the ages of 19 and 35 recovering from a mental illness or with other barriers to employment training, mental health coaching, and in-house work experience so that they can pursue a career or further education in the culinary field. Supported entirely by philanthropic funding, the program consists of a 10-week culinary training program, which includes 5 weeks of skill-based training coupled with in-house work experience. After graduation, students may be offered a 4-week paid extended practicum of work experience at Coast Social Crust Cafe. Love that name. There are 4 cohorts each year, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And Margaret Flynn, culinary program manager, is here to give us the details, the eligibility requirements, and the dates of the next intake. So Margaret, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me today. Can everyone hear me all right? Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, so I am Margaret. I am a chef by trade. I work with the organization I work with is Coast Mental Health. And the program that I work in is our culinary skills training program. So our why behind our program is we are here to offer people or potential students connection, ability to build confidence, and work on foundational employment skills. Our program is not here to make chefs, but to give you an opportunity to gain employment using the medium of food. Some of our participants who've taken the program, they do go on into the industry and work. Some of them take it and they're like, hey, it's not for me, but I want to pursue this other opportunity I want to go into a different industry. And the skills they've been able to build in our program allow them to go do that. Eligibility. So we look for young adults aged 19 to 30. We can expect up to 35. I think our youngest participant was 16. He just snuck in there. So if you're a little bit younger, we can always make that work. You can be a PWT. Our PWT, our requirements are pretty lax. All we would require is that you have the ability to commit to the 10 weeks of training. You have some form of support. Hopefully you are living with parents or you've got some income with the PWD, or maybe you're in supportive housing, so you're able to commit to those 10 weeks and have some form of money. We are not a paid program, so we don't pay to train, but we do have a completion bonus of $250 when students finish their work experience, and then our extended work experience is paid. So it's $17.40 an hour, and then typically we start with 4 weeks. It could be up to 10 weeks in total. What else we look for? We look for people who are willing to connect to supports or already have supports in place. We do have a full-time mental health worker in our program that helps students with various tasks. Typically what our mental health worker is helping students with is identifying what their goals are and then helping them establish an exit plan. We want our students to come out of our program with an idea of where they want to go next, whether that's going to BCC to pursue more culinary training, going to another program, going into the industry, or going to work, or working on their mental health. Maybe that's what they need to do. That's completely fine. We just want everyone to have a plan and an idea of what's next for them. So we really look at our program as a stepping stone to whatever you want to achieve next. What else do we look for? Yeah, that's it. Our next cohort is April 15th, so we're actively accepting applications. The applications can be found on Coast Mental Health website. They're a fillable PDF form, and then they get sent directly to myself or our support worker, Anna. We will look through those, and then we'll call everybody the first week of April to set up interviews. What else? That's Any other questions?
Okay. Aaron, do you see anything? in the
Henry has a
chat?
question.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, it's just to clear everything up. So this culinary program that you were talking about, it's not about like cooking, right? Um, it's about offering work on the foundation of employment skills using medium food. So
Yeah, so
is
we
this, yeah.
do cook. We cook a lot. So our curriculum covers the basics of how to use a knife safely, kitchen culture, kitchen, how do you read a recipe, and how do you execute basic cooking principles. So we look at teaching you to work independently and execute a work plan. So lots of critical thinking, and then how do you work with others and execute a plan. So again, all of these skills that we're teaching are incredibly transferable to other industries. You have to be able to show up to be able to communicate. You have to be able to critically think and figure out a problem on your own. We also, in our program, it's kind of cool, we have brain training, which is cognitive remediational therapy. We quite often find with a lot of our students, they struggle with the executive functioning skills of the critical thinking, of organization and planning, really foundational skills to be able to excel in employment or excel in a program. So we have that training coupled with essential skills. And essential skills, we look at more of the employment skills. How do we communicate effectively with others? How do we write a resume? Some interview skills, conflict management skills, and goal planning. What do you want to do and how do you get there? So that is our curriculum for the first 5.
All right. So it's not just, it's not just like doing curriculum thinking of cooking. It's more onto the brain training and excelling into the program too.
Exactly. We take a holistic approach. So we want to social emotional skills coupled with foundational employment skills and using food to do that. So you will learn to cook. You're not going to be Gordon Ramsay, but you at least will have enough skills that you can go out and cook food for yourself or pursue extra education at BCC, and it sets you up to be able to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mary and Janan have a question in the chat. They'd like to know where the program is located and approximately how many people are in each cohort.
Yeah, good question. So we are an in-person program. It's hard to cook online, so everybody's in person. We are located downtown. The building we work out of is called Pacific Coast Apartments. It's 337 West Pender. So we are kitty corner from the downtown VCC campus, really close to SkyTrain access. What's our best SkyTrain would be Stadium SkyTrain. And we are in class Monday to Thursday, 9 to 2:30 p.m. Friday is designated as a wellness day for our students so they can connect with their supports, have a break, see their friends, and maintain hopefully their wellness throughout the program. We found moving to a 4-day work week works really well with the population that we work with, because it is really important that you maintain all of those things and you have time to go to meet your doctors or meet your teams. So that is what we're doing. Where is the program in person? Sorry, what was the second question?
How many people are in each cohort?
Yeah, good question. So we keep the cohorts quite small, maximum of 10 people.
And
Thank you.
And Liam has a question?
Sure.
Yeah, so is the food is the food space in are the ingredients and the kitchen, are they kosher?
No, they are not. They are not kosher. We are not a kosher kitchen.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. There's also a question here about what other dates other than your upcoming April one.
Yeah. So if you can't make the April one, our next one I believe is August 15th. So end of summer.
Okay. I think if that's all the questions for Margaret, then we can go on. So now moving from employment in specific industries to preparing for employment more broadly. Open Door Group has been, since 1976, supporting inclusive hiring practices to remove barriers to employment. Open Door Group's mission is to open doors to well-being through sustainable and meaningful employment for all. The WorkBC employment program is delivered by several contractors. Open Door Group is one of these contractors and has been tasked with delivering this program in specific areas. And I will put into the chat the link which will take you to the regions where Open Door operates where Open Door operates the WorkBC program. Okay, and here to present to us today are Jennifer Doe, the Marketing and Communication Manager at Open Door Group, Jenny Wade, an Employment Specialist at Strides, and Courtney Siegert, a Disability Employment Specialist for Jobs in Demand. So with that, Jennifer, do you want to start?
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? I assume so. Let me share my screen and then we can begin. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, let me just make it from the beginning. Okay, hi everyone. Super excited to be here today. My name is Jennifer Du. I am the Marketing and Communication Manager at Open Door Group. My pronouns are she, her. For those of you who join in this call today and can't see me, I am an Asian female with dark black hair. I'm wearing a green sweater with a black pant. It is my honor today, together with all of you online. So I would like to acknowledge that the work of Open Door Group takes place across British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. This is the homelands of over 500 distinct Indigenous nations and cultures. Our home office is located on the ancestral and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Joining me today are my colleague, Courtney from Job in Demand, Jenny from Stripe, and Jasmine from Canwin Program. During the presentation, they will take turns to introduce themselves and the program that they are working with. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our stories. We are started in 1976 when a small group of dedicated volunteers in Vancouver began to offering woodworking and sewing workshops to individuals living with disability. At the time, all they have were just a passion and a strong belief that everyone who wanted to and can participate in a community through meaningful employment work. Today, we continue to operate on the fundamental belief that all individuals can work and has the ability to success, and our commitment is stronger than ever. Our mission is opening door to sustainable and meaningful employment. I would like to show you a little video that we have. Again, let me know if this play well. If not, then I can just send the link and everyone can just watch the video as well.
No audio.
Can't hear it, Jennifer.
No audio?
Yeah, we can see clearly, but there's no audio.
Oh, interesting. Let me see if there's a way to do that. Okay, let's see. Turn on original sound. Okay, so let's see if these work. Does it work?
No.
Okay, that's very unfortunate, eh? Because
Before you share your screen, you need to slide over a little toggle that will say share audio or something about like the audio.
Oh, is it?
Give that a try. So you'll
Okay,
probably
hang
have to stop sharing and go back and do that again.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much for the tips.
Thanks for your help, Darlene.
Darlene, no worries.
Share sound. Okay, here it is. Try it again. Apologize.
communities that give them purpose, prosperity, and belonging. The Open Door Group started in 1976 of a small group of community volunteers really identifying a need to provide supports to people living with mental health issues, living with disabilities, really evolving as an organization to be focusing on true inclusion and accessibility in our communities. And Open Door Group has then evolved into an employment service provider. The reason why that's so important is because we know that employment impacts every single social determinant of health, can play such an important role in somebody feeling of value and somebody having purpose and contributing. And we also know that by focusing on employment, that we can literally impact millions of people.
My name is Sang, and I'm an employment placement specialist. Been working with the Open Door Group this is my 8th year, actually. I just counted it, and it's been a long journey, and it's been a great journey so far. I mean, we hear from a lot of clients that we help them find their first employment, and it's always kind of really a touching moment. And probably I think that's one of the kind of reasons that I'm still in this job.
So as an organization, our mission is fostering well-being for all by opening doors to meaningful and sustainable employment. So everything that we do as an organization is centered around an individual person and their success.
I did the peer facilitator group originally, just to get practice of running a group and everything. And now I'm part of the peer support training group that they're running now. That's a goal that I've wanted in my life, is to become a peer support worker. And they're helping me walk that path and giving me the opportunity to do so. Yeah, I wish I had this when I was a little bit younger. It's helped me so much.
Specifically as an employment facilitator, when I was helping people with resumes, seeing how happy it made them when they got a job. There's one client specifically that came in just to come thank me, and he was like jumping up and down. It was really exciting. So it's seeing how big of an impact it made in their life, you know, even though it's just a part of my role.
We've always been a very inclusive employer. I think it's just because we like helping people out. Everyone deserves a chance to work. We're always very much about, like, if we think you'll be a good fit for us, we'll get along, like, we are happy to train you from the ground up. But we've been using the Open Door Group for quite a few years now, and we use them to help us hire new employees who may be facing employment barriers, and we've really enjoyed working with them.
Most of the clients that I see for the first time are not really the one that's smiling all the time. I mean, they try to keep upbeat probably, but they'll be kind of the being down, or like they've been denied, they've been rejected, they've been told something that's like, no, not gonna happen.
They just felt like other employers or potential employers were like quite quick to dismiss them. And we have had other people who have come to us saying, like, you know, I haven't worked in a while, I have this or this barrier to working, whether it's like a physical disability or a mental disability. I think a lot of people don't realize on all the great people they're missing out on.
At the end of the day, it's like making sure that everyone does have equal chances, equal opportunity, and
Oh, we lost the audio.
When we're working with hundreds of employers to improve their accessibility and inclusion in the workplace, a huge part of our focus is working with those local organizations and building partnerships and complementing the work that they're doing, because we're all working towards improving outcomes for people with disabilities. So over the last 5 decades, Open Door Group has supported tens of thousands of unique individuals on their journey to find employment. So you think about the impact that has on that individual person for themselves and what it does for their own individual lives. And then that's magnified by their ability to contribute to their family, to their communities. So when we talk about impact on millions of people, you can see how that truly is possible.
Thank you. Sorry a little bit for the video hiccup. I will send you the link afterward.
That sounds great. I think it might have been on my end. I saw a pop-up ad that might have blocked out the audio for a second there.
Ah, I see. Okay, that's good to know. Technology, I'm still learning.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I would like to echo a little bit about the video and the message, why we're here. At our core, Open Job Group is remain an organization about the people and the relationships within the communities that we serve. You will find us connecting with clients, with families, with business community and other service provider, all level of government. We are proud to have strong collaborative partnership with thousands of service organizations and business to connect with job seekers with meaningful work and hiring employer tap into untapped talent pool. Some of the highlighted number from Open Job Group, we are an organization that really value diversity and inclusions. In the most recent Plect Measures a survey, 38% of our team members are self-identified that are person with disability. Annually, about 8,000 people can, access Open Job Group employment-free services. We are currently expanding our services to Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario through the CanWin projects. We constantly innovated as an organization, and we partner with other organizations and funders to deliver meaningful initiatives that foster well-being for all individuals. Some of the highlighted initiatives in the most recent years for us are the Disability Self-Assessment Tool. This is a 15-minute online self-assessment tool that is open to anyone, any organization that they can take online at any time to get a deeper understanding of where they are at, how they are doing, and if there's any room to improve in their journey to make their workplace become more inclusive. The Untapped Accessibility Social Enterprise. This is the organization that the social enterprise that work with organizations across Canada to deliver accessibility that reach beyond compliance to create truly inclusive organization for all. CanWin project. This is the program that offers free inclusive recruitment, retention, training, and consulting services for employers in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. Our colleague Jasmine will talk more about CanWin in details after these presentations. And TAP Awards. This is our annual awards that help to recognize all of the unsung heroes in our communities that are doing and promoting and tirelessly working towards championing the workplace disability inclusions that help to foster a more diverse, inclusive, and accessible workplace where everyone can thrive. I will now pass on to Jenny and Courtney, my colleague, to talk more about the Job in Demand and the Stride Employment Program.
Hey everyone, I'm Courtney Siegert. My pronouns is she, her. As a disability employment specialist for Jobs in Demand program at Open Door Group, I'm excited to share with you some information on our program. For those unable to see me, I'm a Caucasian female with light brown hair, and I'm dressed in a black t-shirt and a brown blazer. It's my pleasure to share details about the Jobs in Demand program with all of you. So this program is funded by the Ministry of Post-Secondary Education and Future Skills. It operates in 4 locations: Vancouver, Kelowna, Kamloops, and Sechelt, offering a combination of in-person and virtual training cohorts. Our program provides hands-on training lasting 2 months or less, empowering participants to develop relevant skills and gain work experience in high-demand industries, ultimately leading to meaningful employment opportunities. We don't limit participants to one industry. Instead, we encourage exploration of their interest, providing a diverse range of certificate training options. In Vancouver, the program is available in person to participants aged 19 and above, facing 2 or more barriers to employment, such as limited work experience, lack of social network, housing instability, or disability. Participants should be BC residents, so permanent residents or Canadian citizen, or legally authorized to work in Canada, not a full-time student, and currently unemployed or precariously employed. So participants benefit from earning valuable certifications, gaining industry knowledge, and connecting with inclusive employers to secure meaningful and sustainable employment. Additionally, they receive a complimentary laptop for their use after the training, a weekly grocery card, and a potential completion bonus up to $500. Eligible participants may also receive financial support for transit to attend training, depending on their circumstances. During the 2002 to 2023 period, over 150 individuals successfully completed the Jobs in Demand certificate training, with nearly 80% reporting successfully employment post-training. We're always welcoming new participants to join our program. Our next program date in Vancouver is April the 29th. If you have any questions or interested in joining our next session, I'd be more than happy to connect with any of and all of you after the presentation for more information. So now I'll invite my colleague, Jenny Wade, to discuss the STRIDES program.
Thank you, Courtney. Hello, everyone. I'm Jenny Wade. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm thrilled to be here as a disability employment specialist promoting the STRIDES program. For those unable to see me, I'm a female of European heritage with short brown hair, and I'm wearing a black crew neck sweater. I've had the privilege of being part of the STRIDES program for 3 years. STRIDES represents the next chapter following the success of the Open Door Group's Opportunities Fund. STRIDES stands for Solution Focused, Training, and Recruitment Promoting Inclusive and Diverse Employment Success. We are dedicated to supporting individuals with disabilities on their journey toward employment and self-employment. The Opportunities Fund, the program is funded by the Opportunities Fund Canada to assist eligible persons with disabilities in finding meaningful and sustainable employment opportunities. Currently, the STRIDES team serves the Lower Mainland, including the Fraser Valley, Sea to Sky, and the Sunshine Coast, Okanagan, Thompson, and the Kootenay regions, including remote areas where employment resources may be limited. To join the STRIDES program, we are seeking participants who have self-disclosed disabilities or long-term health conditions and are currently unemployed or underemployed. Participants must be Canadian citizens, permanent residents, or individuals who've been granted refugee status in Canada and are eligible to work in the country. Through this program, we provide financial assistance such as wage subsidies, funding for adaptive equipment, training, and support for self-employment to help participants achieve their career goals. Last year, we proudly assisted over 300 persons with disabilities in accessing and gaining employment skills to pursue their career goals. We're always excited to welcome new participants into the program. If you have any questions or are interested in joining, I would love to connect with you after the presentation. Now I'll pass it along to my colleague Jennifer Doe to share with you some interesting community connection initiatives that we're up to.
Thank you so much, Jenny and Courtney. I would now like to bring your attention for a few minutes for some of the really exciting community initiatives that we are undertaking at Open Door Group. So the first one that we have is the Project Everybody. This is a very impactful series of events to showcase the unique talent of person with disability. We are proud to partner with Possibility and other organizations in Lower Mainland. Our main goal is to really promote disability inclusion and create a more inclusive environment for everyone within our community through a series of events. So this year, we're going to have 2 main events throughout the Project Everybody. The first one is going to be the Inclusion Art Shows and Sell. If you are in the Lower Mainland, perhaps you are very familiar with this event. It has been around for over 40 years plus. This is the greatest this is the largest art shows that featuring the work of over 200 artists that are persons with disability. This event typically attracts more than 900 attendees from across the Lower Mainland. It's a fantastic opportunity for any artist to connect with the communities. The in-person show for the arts fair is going to take place in October of this year. More detail is going to come, and I will share with you right after these presentations. The second one is the Project Everybody Theme and Art Festival. This is our beloved annual community event that takes place every year. This year is going to be 2 hours of live entertainment, including film, music, poetry, dance, and much more. The festival will take place on December 3rd, 2024 from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Vancouver Roundhouse, Youngstown. The event is being hosted in celebration of the International Day for Persons with Disability. All of our event, I would like to address that they are free, accessible for everyone, and is open to the public. Children are also welcome. So we really hope that you can join us. I will also touch base with you very shortly after this, Katrina's, so that we can, perhaps share some of the film project featuring the showcase. I can see that you're winking at me, so I'm like, yep, we get this. This is a great opportunity. Yeah, and everyone as well, please, if you have any project that you are working on, connect with me, and perhaps this is something that we could love to help you showcase and bring your work closer to everyone. I would like to show you something really quick before we wrap up this presentation, which is a newcomer disability toolkit. Last year, we have a great opportunity to partner with IAS of BC to develop a new resource, and this is a really comprehensive resource toolkit for persons with disability. In this toolkit, you will find a lot of the information about current and available and essential resources, including insight to support persons with disability in supporting you to finding meaningful employment. You also will find informative infographic, external resources, insight, legislations, any available wraparound services, community services to help you assist you in finding sustainable and meaningful employment. This is a free toolkit. It's available on Open Job Group website and also IRS-BC website as well. I will share with you the link so that you can download the toolkit. It's about 50 pages, but it's designed in an accessible format, so it's really easy for you to navigate. Okay, last but not least, when we're wrapping up these presentations, I would like to remind all of us about the fundamental belief of Open Job Group, why we exist. It's really because we truly believe that everyone has the ability to be success, and we see that happen every day. You are really our inspirations and motivation that really keep us moving in this journey. So again, we really wanted to thank you for providing us with this opportunity to share all of the exciting project and program at Open Job Group. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. I know that we are short in time, so if we don't really have time to address all of the questions, feel free to email us at info@openjobgroup.org, or refer it to me, to Jenny, to Courtney, or to Jasmine right after this presentation. We will be more than happy to address any questions that you might have and see how our program can support you.
Thanks so much, Jennifer. We do have some questions in the chat, but first of all, I want to say that I will be including your contact information in the recording. It takes me a couple weeks to get it done, the editing of it, but I will make sure that happens. And also, please, when you have events or upcoming intake dates for all of you, please send me an email and I will share them. So, part of the effort we would like of doing this kind of meeting is that it goes beyond just this meeting, that we create a situation where there's good communication exchange between all of us about what is happening. So please do not hesitate to contact me with new information or event updates. Okay, Aaron, in the chat, what do you see?
Yes, so Esther has a question. Do you also help students or young adults find summer jobs? My son is 21 and has tried to find a job over the last 2 summers, but was unsuccessful.
I can answer that one for Strides. Yeah, so we do help students. We have got some parameters around how we assist students. Just again, this is from our funding policy. If somebody identifies as a full-time student, we can only assist them with working 15 hours a week, as well as and on the school breaks, we can assist with working more hours than that. I guess it's just so that there's not a conflict of time, so that students are able to focus on studying and not working full time and compromising their studies.
Go ahead, Courtney.
Sorry. For jobs in demand, we do strive for that sustainable, meaningful employment. The jobs in demand is about 8 weeks long for the program. So the student or young adult would be able to hopefully be eligible for jobs in demand, but we are looking for that sustainable employment for long term. I hope that helps.
Does anyone else have any questions for Courtney, Jennifer, Jenny?
Okay. We'll go on. So we'll move from Open Door Group has given us a window into this next one, but with this particular group, we will focus on relationships with employers. So Canadian Partners in Workplace Innovation, CanWIN, is an expansion of the Government of Canada's Opportunities Fund for Persons with Disabilities under the employer stream. Operated by Open Door Group, CanWIN helps employers meet workforce needs by connecting job seekers with diverse abilities to accessible employers across BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. CanWIN is an expansion of another organization that you might have heard of in the past, BC Partners in Workforce Innovation, BC WIN, which started in 2013. So Jasmine Marchant, a CanWIN inclusive workforce specialist, is here to present the work of CanWIN in connecting individuals to employers and helping them to find and keep jobs. So welcome, Jasmine.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I see a few familiar faces, actually, which is really nice. And so for those of you that can't see me, I am a half Asian woman, and I go by she, her, and I'm wearing a black shirt. So I'm just going to share my screen. And I know I got the least amount of time, so I will go quickly. And
good, actually, Jasmine. So
can everyone see that? Okay, perfect. So thank you so much again for having me. And I'll just briefly go over our program. And if you have any questions at the end, then you're more than welcome to ask me or put it in the chat. Oh. All right, so we did mention we are inclusive workforce specialists. And Jamie and I are located in British Columbia. And we do now have a new, as of March 2023, we expanded from BC WIN to CanWIN, and we grew our team. So Crystal is in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. And then we have Jackie and Donald, and they are both based in Ontario. So a little bit about our history. I know Joette just mentioned, but we did start in 2013. And our model was a little bit different than those that have talked about, because we started with the employer, and that's how we were funded, to support the employer, help them remove barriers to employment for candidates that identified with a disability. And so I'll share a little bit about our recruitment model, but we started in 2013 and then last year expanded to CanWIN. So previously we were only in BC, and it's exciting now under the Open Door Group that we've now expanded across Canada. So we do work directly with the employers, and we do recruit now. We have some national accounts, which are exciting. I will share those in a little bit, but we do work with employers to help them tap into the talent pool of candidates that do identify with the disability, whether it's visible or non, and that is from BC to Ontario. We do do some recruitment for them, of course, but we also help them with training and other advisory services. So when we place someone with one of our employers, we do help to support the employer as well as the candidate or the new employee with those employers to help those employers to ensure that they're building a respectful and inclusive workplace for our new employees, and also that they feel supported, that the candidates know that they have somewhere to go to. They also still can connect in with their job coaches or their job developers or employment specialists. So we always try to keep everyone in the loop in terms of any supports that are needed while on the job. Our model really works and is successful because of our service partner network. And so we do work with over 400 service partners from BC to Ontario. And we're doing that to enhance the collective impact to help candidates gain employment. And so when we have a recruitment opportunity with one of our employer partners, we will share that out to our service partners. And our service partners, of course, have a very good connection with their clients. And so they'll know if this position is something that their candidates are interested or their clients are interested in. And so then they'll recommend those candidates to us. And then depending on where the location of the position is, an inclusive workforce specialist will meet with that candidate and find out a little bit more about their resume and some of their skills, and then recommend them to that employer partner. So this is how our typical recruitment works. So we start with the job opportunity with our employer partners. And so sometimes we create those job opportunities, like the employer and CanWin will try to find opportunities and create carve out positions. Other times the employers will say to us, we only want to hire someone through CanWin, and it's a specific position they want to fill with a candidate that identifies with the disability, or it's a position that's going to go out to everyone, but they still would like us to recommend candidates to them. So we'll put the job opening on our website, but we also send it out through a recruitment campaign to all of our service partners, and then also any candidates that are interested to be on the actual email list. And they don't come out all the time, but they come out fairly often. And then those service partners will recommend some of their clients to us, and then we'll interview and then recommend that candidate to the employer. And what we do try to do is we focus on their abilities, what they're looking for, the candidate, and if there's any adjustments that are required. For instance, when we're working with candidates that are neurodivergent, we generally try to have the behavioral questions. Well, we have the behavioral questions changed or removed. Sometimes there's assessments. So we try to remove any assessments that an employer has asked candidates to normally do, because we feel that that is a barrier to potentially being a successful candidate in getting the position. So we work with the employer to help remove any barriers that we feel to make it a fair playing field for all candidates that we're referring. So we have a new, since we started in 2023 with Can Win. We have Jennifer Doe, which is on the call, but we also have her team that supports us with our website. So our website has improved since it was BC Win. And so you'll see here that the website has, for job seekers, it has jobs in BC, jobs in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and jobs in Ontario. So really easy to go there and click on where you're interested or the location. And then when you click on that, then job opportunities will come up for those different employers. And then if you see a position that you're interested in, then you can hit see more, and then it'll give you a more of a summary of what the job summary is, what the job duties are. Because when we meet with a candidate, we definitely want to make sure that that candidate knows what position they're interested in or that they're applying for, so that we can recommend them to the employer. In terms of how we work with our service partners, but also sometimes when there's a candidate or a job seeker that's looking for a position and they don't have an employment specialist or a job coach or a vocational counselor, they don't require one, or they haven't tapped into someone yet, they can fill out this candidate referral form here that's on our website. And when we meet with that candidate, if we feel that they need some additional supports, we can always connect them to our service partners. And we work, because we're under Open Door Group, we, depending on what the needs are, we would refer them to one of our colleagues at Open Door Group, but it just depends on what the needs are. Or we can also just work with that candidate on their own as well. So with the job referral form, which is on our website, so you can take a look at it too, these are just some of the questions that we ask for the form. These are some of the questions that we ask: just who's referring, the name of the candidate, email, phone number, preferred method of communication, phone, email, or text. And this is blocking here. That they're eligible to work in Canada. You don't have to respond to this one necessarily, just if it's in the job description, but if if a candidate has been convicted of a criminal offense, if references are available. We don't check the references, but it's good to know, and some employers that we work with do require references. So as long as the references are available, then that's good to let us know. And shift availability is really important for us, because if a position is posted and it's full-time and candidates apply and they only want casual or part-time, we kind of have to work through that, because there are definitely jobs that are that we can have accommodations or adjustments to. But if the employers were looking for full-time employees, then generally they're looking for full-time employees, and we can then wait for a part-time position to come up. It's also good to know if candidates are available on the weekends or evenings, depending on what the position is. And then we really focus on the candidate's strengths. So what are the candidate's strengths in relation to the position? It is helpful if we know if there are any adjustments that will help bring out the best in the interview and as well in the workplace. And then there's just another area where it says additional comments, not necessarily if there's nothing to put in there, you don't have to, but if there are anything that you want to add, and then to upload the resume and then submit. And you have to make sure you hit submit, because if you do all that work and then don't hit submit, then it doesn't go through to us, but it does go directly to the inclusive workforce specialist, depending on the region of the position. So I just wanted to show some of our BC employer partners that we're working with today. So it is a wide range of employers and a wide range of different positions. And a lot of them are, hybrids. that's what the model is the most the ones that we can find the most are the hybrid positions. SkyTrain is the ones that we have posted right now are a SkyTrain attendant, but that is a position that is in like at the SkyTrain locations. BCA has some EVO member representative positions, and so that would be fully remote, but then the other call center roles or in the different BCA locations would be hybrid. ICBC, those are all hybrid positions. Port of Vancouver, they have hybrid as well. PAVCO is BC Place as well as Vancouver Convention Center. So we've just done a few referrals to them recently. And Pacific Blue Cross is a newer employer partner. So we haven't posted any positions for them yet, but those positions will be coming. And then some of our new national accounts, London Drugs, we've been working, and they've been actually a employer partner since the beginning of BC WIN. And so they have positions in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. At Atkins Realis, they have a lot of different roles, a lot of engineering positions, but they're also across Canada. Canadian Western Bank has been a really great employer for us. They have been going through, Canadian Western Bank and Bell have been going through a little bit of a structural change. So we have a few jobs with them, but there will be, of course, continuing to have more. Ledcor is a BC founded organization, but they have expanded. And so they've been a really great employer partner for us as well to refer candidates. And we've placed quite a few people at Ledcor, and they were remote, but now their positions are hybrid. And Microservice is a newer employer partner, and they have a few positions, and we've made some recommendations to them, and FedEx as well. They have positions all throughout their organization across Canada. So I'll just show you, I'll show you in a second. So something that we do, CanWin does with our employer partners is we make sure that they have some training, and it's around the 4 pillars of accessible employment model. And so we actually have all of our employer partners, all those organizations that you saw, we have them sign an employer partnership agreement with us. And that's really to show that they are committed to being an inclusive employer. Because, you know, it is frustrating when you like work with an employer, you interview, like all of our service partners are referring candidates, and then we refer candidates, and then the commitment isn't there to actually hire. So we make sure that our employer partners are committed, and then we work with them on the readiness piece. And so that's really shifting their long time practices, removing barriers to employment, like any, you know, things that they've just had on their job descriptions that have just been there forever that are actually not really a requirement. Any assessments, so reviewing what kind of assessments they have, reviewing their websites and how people can apply. So that readiness piece is really important for us and for our inclusive workforce specialists, because we really want to build that capacity of that employer, that disability confidence. And then we move to the recruitment, and the recruitment is active recruitment. So we want to build cohorts for employers. We want them to actively be recruiting candidates that are coming through our service partners or ourselves. And then we really want to make sure that we're there to support the employers, but also the candidate if they need, to make sure that they're retained and that they're able to move up within the organization if that's what they want. So it's engaging that employee through the full employment life cycle. So that's just something for you guys to understand, that there is a lot of background work that we do with the employers. And so sometimes it's not always constant recruitment, or we come back to readiness because we've been recruiting for them and things aren't really working. And so we'll go back to the readiness piece and make sure that their hiring managers are trained, that they are really looking at what their processes are to ensuring that they are hiring. So I mentioned LegCorp, but I just wanted to show you LegCorp. So one other way that candidates can work with us, because we do meet with a lot of candidates on a regular basis, is and our service partners, they can go to the all of our employer partners' websites, their career pages, and they can look at the different opportunities. And if, for instance, I've interviewed or I've met with a candidate and we put them forward for a position and they weren't the chosen candidate, I always mention that if there's another position they see, if they could come across one, or their job coach or job developer sees a position, then just send me an email and then I'll put through a recommendation, because we do have access to their HR team. So it's more of us just like making those referrals and making sure it's top of mind. Today I got an exciting news. I've been trying to find a candidate that is neurodiverse, and he has been trying and trying for a year, and I got an email saying that they were going to shortlist him for a position. So I was very excited this morning, because it sometimes takes a little while. And I know that that's the frustrating part, but I think as long as we're like, I'm inundating them with my referrals, then like good referrals and jobs that we know the candidate has the skills for and that they want. And so if we can just bridge that, then that makes me very happy, and I think makes everyone happy if we can get them jobs. So in terms of LegCorp, they have we've worked with them in terms of finance. We have made referrals for IT and human resources and business analyst and admin. So we have gotten candidates jobs. And I think I mentioned they are hybrid positions. And so you don't have to, well, the ones in BC now, because they were remote before and you could work anywhere, the ones in BC, because I believe we're all based in BC, we'd be looking at those positions. So definitely take a look and see if there's anything there that you would be interested in. Bell is a newer employer that we're working with. They just announced, I think you probably saw in the media, they're doing a bit of a closure of some of their I guess retail stores, but we are connected in terms of across Canada for other roles. So if there is any other positions that you're interested in, we can make recommendations to Bell. And so this is just the Bell website, sort of just showing you you just go to Bell Careers and then you go under job categories. And so there's different job categories. And then in those, it'll say whether it's in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and all the way across Canada. And then London Drugs too, we're always hiring. We do a specific hiring campaign for them in October. But we can always make recommendations to them, their different stores, or to their head office, which is in Richmond. And the London Drugs career page is really easy to use. You just click on, it'll say actively hiring, and then you do there's a drop down. You click on the area or the store that you're interested in, and then all the positions will come up that are posted there. So I know I went very quickly. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I think I had one more slide. So this is just my email address and Jamie's email address, and then our website. And the website looks great and is easy to use, and that's because of Jen and Jen's team. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Aaron, can you go through the questions in the chat?
Yes, there's 2 questions in the chat. I'll read them in the order in which they were received. The first one is from Glenda, who would like to know if Hanwin advocates on behalf of neurodiverse employees who are currently employed with somebody on your list of organizations who or who may not be on your list of organizations.
So we do advocate for the candidates that we've that we referred to the different employers. We can advocate for those that got a job with our different employer partners. If they're within the organization, we can definitely like help them. We would just have to tap into our contacts at the employer and say that there's a person that works here and they maybe are having, there's some struggles or something's happening within the employer partnership relationship with that candidate or that employee. We only work with the employers that I've sort of mentioned here. So we are open to taking on new employer partners, but we do make sure that we do that readiness piece. So there is a lot of time and effort that's put into that. And then we also want to make sure that those employer partners are hiring. So we are open to meeting new employer partners. We just signed on actually Nicola Wealth, which is very exciting. And so we'll be doing some recruiting for them, but right now we're doing the readiness piece. So there's lots of different employers that we're open to engaging with, but we can't engage everyone in BC because there's only 2 of us.
Okay, and that actually leads really well into the next question, which is from Kate. She has a son with a degree in computer science from UBC and would like to know if SAP is on your list of employment partners.
SAP is not on our employer partner list, no.
So which employer would be best suited for somebody with a degree in computer science? Which of your employers?
Well, I guess it depends on what positions the person is interested in. I know for data analyst, there's IT roles within the different employer partners like ICBC, BCAA, BC Hydro, TransLink. They all have so it depends on the role, the specific role that they're looking for. But all those employer partners would have something that maybe that I can't remember who that person's name was, that that degree could be transferable to.
Okay. Esther, please. You're muted.
So hi, I was just wondering because my son applied, I think, twice to London Drugs. So, but he didn't hear back from them. So just for a summer job, so it was mostly for a part-time job. My question is, so if he goes like with your company, so if he signs up with Can-Win, so is that something you guys would partner then, or?
Yeah, I can definitely recommend him if he's already applied. We can actually recommend him now. It might be maybe after spring break might be a good time, because if he's just looking for the summer, we can definitely recommend to the recruiter there. I can email the recruitment team and just say this is the position. And then we would just, for London Drugs, they do need, your son probably already did this, but he needs to apply online as well. So I could just put him through, and then he just has to put that we're the referring partner so that they're tagged for them. Yeah.
So he would just have to sign up with you.
Well, you don't have to sign. Yeah, you don't have to sign up really with us. You just, he could email me, and then I could just set up a quick call with him, and then we would just apply online for him, and I could send to the recruitment team his resume, and then the position, like basically I outline what position and where.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Hey, Aaron, Glenda has a question in the chat.
I believe that Jenny already answered her question, but go ahead if you need clarification.
Actually, it wasn't really, it wasn't too, she didn't answer the question. It was basically, I guess, our son was hired under the auspices of Ready, Willing, and Able. And I'm just curious, is your organization similar to Ready, Willing, and Able, where they, supposedly follow through? I'm hoping that you are following through once they're employed to supporting them as they're working. And if so, I'd like to just speak to you actually probably personally about the company he works for and so forth, and perhaps you can make contact and support, help support. That's why I said by advocacy, within that company. So that's why my hand is kind of down, because I'll just talk to you personally about that. But you say you are open to taking on new employers. As I say, he was, started out with that, but then I don't know what happened to Ready, Willing, and Able, but it seems to have either fizzled or he's not being supported through that at all anymore. So we need somebody now to support, and we were going to do it ourselves as parents to try and, connect with the company hierarchy and so forth. But it sounds more like your support would be a way to go in order to, to do that, because that's your business.
We are. Yeah, that's a good point. We definitely have supported the candidates that we referred. That we've gained, like they've gained employment. We definitely keep in touch, or they feel comfortable to email us. If they've come up against anything, or or actually even if they want to move to a different department or a different area within the organization. And so we also work with those new hiring managers, right? Because sometimes it's not always, the information isn't always transferred from the hiring manager that the person had for the last year, and then they move to a new hiring manager, and the hiring manager doesn't understand maybe a bit of the background. So we definitely keep in contact, and we work, and the employers that we've worked with, a lot of them, some of the newer ones are with CanWin and they're national. But the ones that we were working with BC Win, it's been since 2013. So it's been a long-standing relationship.
Okay.
So yes, you can reach out to me directly. I do want to say I am going on vacation. So if you want to call me today, that would be great.
And Jenny has made a comment in the chat, but perhaps you could explain, Jenny, what you're thinking of here.
Pointing out that if an individual who identifies with having a disability is at risk of losing a job, they could be eligible for the STRIDES program to assist. So we can come in with a wage subsidy, and we can work with the employer and with the employee to figure out what the situation is, and to provide some financial relief for that for a period of time from the employer, so that like a retraining period, and like a lot of the time we share resources with employers, just like what Jasmine does, to get employers and management teams prepared and able to best manage their staff with whatever the unique needs are of that staff member. And we provide them with a lot of accommodation support so that they can do that. So that's an option too. So if somebody is employed and they're at risk of losing a job, we can assist with that.
Okay, great. I have a comment that I'd like to make, but also I wanted to, or something to put to Jasmine, but I wanted to let people know that the Ready, Willing, and Able contract has passed to Connects Autism, and they will be presenting at our meeting next month, along with a couple other organizations. So tune in for that one. Jasmine, of course, we would love for everybody to be an accessible employer. So that's our end goal. And the second thing that always we hear about is that, especially with autism, that because of the broad spectrum, and also because many people with autism may not be, the accommodations that they may need, or the difficulties that they have, may not be immediately evident. So what we hear is that employers don't feel comfortable, they don't feel well trained or supported, whatever. And so that's where you see as the basis. But then several of the autism players in BC are participating or submitting information to what I think is called the Canadian Autism Landmarks Summit. that is to happen in a short while away. And we're looking for, and there will be likely have the ear of government, particularly at the federal level, but maybe also some provincial input. So my question to you is, if you had, what would you be wanting to put in front of people who have power in government in those two areas? What would better support you in your work, in growing your list of employers, accessible employers, and in better supporting employer comfort, better training them and better supporting them? How would you see that? Again, if you have immediate responses, you can let me know, but if it's something you'd like to think about and send me a note later, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, I think we have to think about it a little bit more. I mean, we are a free service for employer partners to use. But I mean, I guess it's more of us that like to help all employers, but we do work with employers to remove, even just behavioral questions, because we know that those are tricky for candidates that are neurodivergent to use. So I mean, and even assessments. So there's little things that and I also think when we're working with the employer, we do share specific information. For instance, like if they need little adjustments, like not being in the center of the office, being in a quieter area, different lighting, like there's different, everyone's an individual. So there's not one specific way, but I do think I think I have to think a little bit more, but I think if there was more, maybe it's more funding for more organizations that can support the employers to help them build their disability confidence.
Okay.
So that they can then hire. Because it is true, an employer it's like taking that step to hire, but it's giving them the tools first to be able to feel comfortable, and everyone within the organization, because it's not just the recruitment team, it's also the hiring managers, the supervisors that are working with the new employee. It's, the HR teams are wonderful, and they might have these grand plans, and even the executive teams, but you also have to train the people that are actually working with the new employees.
Yeah, it's the people working alongside them, and it's also their peers.
Yes. So it's training for everyone.
Right. Do you use training videos with the employers? Do you go in one-on-one? How does that work?
Yeah, we go in and we do training. So we do the 4 pillars training, which is generally a 3-hour training, and that's just to kind of identify. Well, we go under all 4 pillars, and so we identify things in each area of where we can remove barriers, and what they have in place and what we need to work on. So that's one, and then we do other trainings on accessibility and just a wide range depending on what comes out of that 4 pillars training. We also have them complete, Jennifer mentioned, that self-assessment, the disability assessment for employers to see where they're at. So that's also very helpful for us in terms of employer information. So we do go in, and then we also do advisory meetings, and then they just call us, or we do Zoom or MS Teams.
And if an employee is feeling like something is going sideways, do you intervene on their behalf, or how does that work?
Yes, they'll generally let us know, or if the employer is feeling like they don't know how to deal with that situation, they'll call us.
Okay, that's great. So any final questions or comments that anyone would like to make?
So Paolo has 2 questions in the chat.
Okay,
Paolo,
go
can
ahead.
you please clarify what contact information you're looking for? Is it just for the presenters or for CanWin more generally? Paolo, are you still there?
I will be putting all the contacts in the video, but if you're welcome, each one of you are welcome to put it in the chat right now as well. Oh, he says it was for the presenters, generally, I guess.
And also to answer your second question, Canucks Autism will be presenting at next month's meeting.
specifically the Ready, Willing, and Able and the STEP program and Back in Motion. So we're staying on employment for that. And then the May one is on post-secondary access programs. Okay, there we go. Jasmine has put her contact information. Kat has as well. Okay. Everybody, great. So pick up whatever of the contacts you need there. I'll give you a minute. But thank you everyone for your passion for this work and for continuing to push the boundary for the frontier forward. So we appreciate your coming to speak with us today, the time you've given us, and for your work overall. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.